Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 46 of CBD Talk Podcast. And today we have my favorite pot scientist, Carter Baird. How you doing today, Carter?
I'm doing just excellent. It is Saturday, my day off.
Yay!
Since I work the absolute most normal time, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
And you just so are not your typical 9 to 5 person, but you're flexible.
I'm flexible outside of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But there is some flexibility in there.
Oh, that's good.
How are you?
I'm doing really well. And so today is actually New Year's Eve.
Yes.
So
2017, good riddance.
And welcome 2018.
Yes, 2018. I'm so excited about 2018. It's going to be a huge year for cannabis, and we're going to get into it.
Well, let's first talk about some good things that happened in 2017. What have you got for us?
Okay. Some good things that happened in 2017. I had a lot of personally good things happen in 2017. That 9 to 5 that I was mentioning, I got that job.
Yay.
I got a job and I really like it. I'm measuring CBD, the amount of CBD and THC and CBN and CBDA and THCA. This is what we do, the liquid chromatography. I'm doing the science, and I guess I felt like I came into myself as the pot scientist.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I got the job and now I'm doing it, and I'm no longer an entrepreneur. I did that, and everyone is an entrepreneur. And I decided this year to no longer self-identify. I'm an employee, and I work in a laboratory, and I do the science of cannabis.
Okay.
So
However, you're an author.
A good thing.
You're an author as well now.
California passed their laws regulating adult use marijuana, adult use cannabis. So that their state legislature had to come up with the rules. There was a huge argument from within the industry. People disagree, and they were able to pass the laws.
That's a great thing.
That's a great thing. And they release them, and people understand you need a license for transport. It's going to be a lot more involved than it is here in Colorado, though I really do like the system that they set up here in Colorado. But it's really going to happen. They're issuing licenses for adult use marijuana in California.
When does that go into effect?
January 1st. Happy New Year.
So are you thinking at midnight and 1 second people are going to be buying?
Probably in Oakland.
Yeah.
With Harborside Health, Steve D'Angelo. He's been working for this for his whole life, and which is longer than mine. So he is I was born in the Reagan years, so I'm sort of a latecomer. And I'm feeling older. It's weird. The older you get, the younger everyone looks.
Okay, tell me a little bit about California, about how they're doing it there.
California like I mentioned before, they passed the laws releasing the rules requiring testing and licenses for transport and everything. And that's going to begin January 1st, but you need a local support, like your municipality. Los Angeles is going to be pretty much the biggest marijuana market on the planet, the biggest legal marijuana market on the planet. And I don't think that they're going to have it quite ready at the ball drop.
Okay.
So it may be sometime in January.
Mm-hmm.
But LA is coming online.
Big. LA's just the economy of LA alone is huge.
I think the entire population of my home state of Colorado could fit into a neighborhood. That's like a section of a part of LA somewhere.
And Carter, do you remember approximately how much in tax revenue Colorado got for 2017?
$1 billion. We hit $1 billion, I think, last year, right?
All right.
No, that was in sales.
That was in sales. Okay.
There was over $1 billion of sales of legal marijuana in Colorado back in like November.
Okay, so let's come up with a little contest between us. When do you think California's going to hit $1 billion in sales?
St. Patrick's Day by 420. Yeah. I think they will. They'll hit $1 billion.
They will have surpassed it by 420.
Before.
Yes. Okay. We'll say before 420.
420.
There will, and actually, we can include the sales on 420 if need be, because I'm sure the sales on 420 will be substantial.
Okay, we won't need to, but we could.
Okay. All right. So we're saying probably first quarter 2018, the state of California will hit $1 billion in sales of cannabis of products.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a huge market. People here in Colorado, is at least in the industry, I would hear over the past couple of years, like, it's too big for the feds to shut down. It's gone too far. There's no way the DEA could come in and shut this down, this market here in Denver. But we're a small state.
Exactly.
It's only 5 or 6 million people in the state, maybe less than 10 million for sure. So the DEA could have, the feds could have, if they really wanted to waste some taxpayer money.
They're good at that.
They really just wanted to hunker down and make a horrible mistake. They could have. They could have done it. But with California, which is the center of not just our cultural export with Hollywood, but just sheer number of people, also the scientific center, the Palo Alto, Silicon Valley, like that's so much of our economy, and it's so many people. I think it's like 30 or 40 million people.
That's a lot. It's, you know, like they say, the state of California is bigger than some countries, and their economy sure as hell is.
France.
Wow.
France, which is a big country. France.
Yeah.
France is like soldiers all over the planet.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to stop that train, and thank God. I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, come January 1st, then it's too late. There's no way. And it's just a matter of when. Okay,
well, what do you think your good friend Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions is going to have to say about that?
Jefferson. Beauregard Sessions III. I think he was hired to be irrelevant, to be a pushover, someone you can steal the spotlight from, you know, a Trump associate.
Yeah.
Someone who won't take attention or stand up for himself.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he's even though he's the Attorney General of the United States, I think he's kind of powerless.
So yeah, so we're not, once California comes on board, because I know he's had some grumblings and rumblings this year, you know, with marijuana.
He has old-fashioned ideas.
Yeah, so we don't see the Attorney General trying to go up against a behemoth like California.
He won't be able to.
Yeah.
He can't afford it. Yeah. And Congress has a provision in there, the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment, which did get tacked on with the spending bill that the thing that they passed to like keep it open till halfway through January or something stupid. That got tacked on with it. And that bars the federal government from spending any money to come down on state legal medical marijuana.
Good. Now it doesn't stop them from doing recreational though, does it? We'll have to see about that.
Get a lawyer, because
Yeah.
I think lawyers may disagree. Some would say
Yeah.
that it totally bars them from
Yeah,
getting,
because especially if it's in the same, like if it's in the same building, then how would you know which part is which? I mean, it's
I mean, there's a real difference between medical and
yes.
recreational marijuana here in Colorado, and it's the color of the tag.
Mm-hmm. There's a big difference.
It's a blue tag for recreational, and it's a yellow tag for medical, and they have somewhat different testing requirements.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
same product, different color tag.
The plant doesn't know whether it's medical or not.
Which is good, because if the plant knew, then it might inflate their ego a bit.
It would.
So, we don't want that happening.
I mean, that plant has done very well for itself.
It has.
Because it is attractive to humans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of how well dogs have done. How many chickens exist. How many things humans like tend to do pretty well.
Well, let's talk about some of the great things that plant has done. So besides creating joy and laughter in people's lives without damaging their bodies, without causing liver failure or things like that, that plant has done some amazing things, both for people's frame of mind and for people's bodies. So how about you talk about some of the good things that plant can do?
This is why I like to say adult use instead of recreational. Recreational marijuana is the official state term here in Colorado. Marijuana is in our laws, is in our official Colorado state. It's marijuana, and it's recreational or it's medical.
I wish they would say cannabis, but yeah, I know. Medical marijuana, the alliteration is just too good to pass up.
I like the use of marijuana.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because they also call out hemp, specifically by name. Mm-hmm. And had they just done one law that said cannabis, instead of breaking it down like, here's the law for marijuana, here's the law for hemp, which they did. Hemp was legalized in Amendment 64. People forget this.
Yeah.
When we legalized adult use marijuana in Colorado, we legalized hemp too, and the farmers are like, oh shit.
Yeah. We have the highest number of acres nationwide right now in the state of Colorado for hemp.
We did.
Kentucky's coming along at a good clip as well.
Kentucky is what I was surprised to see. North Dakota.
Really? I did not know about that.
A lot of acres of North Dakota doing hemp.
That's awesome.
I guess it makes sense because I mean the Nebraska of Canada is Saskatchewan, right there, and it's where they grow all the food. And they grow a bunch of hemp. Canada has been growing huge amounts of hemp seeds for food. You can get it at your local.
You can get it at Costco. You can get hemp seed at Costco.
Yeah, hemp milk or hemp tofu. I mean, it's food. And the Canadians have been doing that up in just north of North Dakota. So it's the same environment. Why not? Why not do it right there?
That makes sense.
You'll probably. I was gonna say you need some plants to absorb all the fracking that they're doing. You know, that makes the food dangerous. Come from North Dakota.
Yeah, but if we surrounded the fracking by hemp plants that were used for industrial plastics, because the hemp plastics are a huge thing now.
Oh, hemp plastics are so strong that the car makers.
Yeah. Oh, and wouldn't that be appropriate that we surrounded fracking and petro sites with hemp plants that would absorb the pollution, and then use those hemp plants to create the plastics that are going to that are going to overrun the petroleum plastics.
Yeah. And in a great recycling circle, you could use it for the plastics for the cars that buy the oil. It's kind of a beautiful pollution recycling.
It's the circle of life.
It's the circle. It's the circle.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. All right. So, okay, but let's talk health-wise. Tell me some great things that you have heard, or that you know about, some wonderful things, medical benefits of cannabis.
Well, your listeners, I assume, know about the endocannabinoid system.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
do it.
The endocannabinoid system. Okay, so THC, that's the one everyone knows.
That's a cannabinoid.
That's a cannabinoid.
Mm-hmm.
And it reacts to a receptor in your body.
Mm-hmm.
But that receptor in your body is not made for marijuana. It wasn't like your body was like, oh yeah, let's make this thing work with a plant. No, your own body makes things that also bind to that receptor. It's like morphine. Morphine is medicine because it reacts to the receptor that endorphin reacts with.
Mm-hmm.
When you make endorphin or endorphine,
mm-hmm.
that binds to the receptor that morphine binds to. This is like fundamental of what medicine is.
Mm-hmm.
It takes something that is natural in your body and supplements it or augments it or changes it in some way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so real quick here, since you're talking about cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid system, as my phone beams.
I should silence my phone. Thank you.
Yeah, well, actually, I had, but I guess my meditation timer ignored it. So let me.
It's not very zen. Interrupting.
Bong. Yeah. Okay. So how about you also mention, since we're talking about the cannabinoids, the difference between an endocannabinoid and a phytocannabinoid.
Right. So THC is a phytocannabinoid. Phyto meaning outside the body. It comes from somewhere else. Lots of plants make cannabinoids, but cannabis, marijuana, female flowers make a lot of cannabinoids, more than like any other plant.
So what's an endocannabinoid?
An endocannabinoid is something that you make in your own body that works with your cannabinoid system. Like anandamide. Anandamide was the first endocannabinoid that was found, and this was years ago. When I'm talking scientific history.
I was gonna say years ago.
That was 1980.
1980 something. Yeah, that for a lot of us, I had already graduated high school by that time, and most of the physicians that are practicing were licensed before that time, I would think.
Yeah, and this wasn't taught in medical school. This was discovered by one scientist or her team
mm-hmm.
of scientists in St. Louis,
mm-hmm.
continuing the work of Meshulam
mm-hmm.
in Israel, who first isolated THC. The whole reason we know about THC is because a scientist isolated it in Israel,
mm-hmm.
which we paid for, by the way. The U.S. paid for that because a senator's son was found smoking marijuana. And he's like, is he destroying his brain?
Oh my. Oh, that's hysterical.
So we need to pay to find the molecule that may be killing some senator's son.
But look at what's come out of it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay, so back to the endocannabinoid system.
Right. So that's just the basic. This is the basics of
mm-hmm.
what both THC and CBD and other cannabinoids as well. There are I was listing them off earlier, the ones that we test for. We test for seven cannabinoids, and there are so many more that need to be tested that work together at different ratios in medicine. I'm sort of losing the thread here, but what happened in 2017 is the state of Colorado has been funding tests of cannabinoids as medicine.
Oh.
We've been funding these tests. Funding these tests, and I think it's through Anschutz.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
they're amazing.
And I think next year, 2018, they're going to be listing some results that I believe they did some studies on CBD and pediatric disorders.
That's great.
And on intractable epilepsy.
Nice.
This is one of the things that CBD and other cannabinoids have been found to treat really well that our existing medicines don't treat at all.
Yeah.
Because all of the medicines that we've had approved by the FDA in our medical system don't acknowledge the endocannabinoid system as a thing. So of course.
Let's get back to the endocannabinoid system, because I hadn't even thought about talking about that, and I know that I get a lot.
I could go on.
Well, let's hit a little bit of it, because I do get a lot of questions about it on our Facebook page. I get a lot of messages that come in. So it would be good to be able to say, okay, go watch episode 46. Carter's going to explain it to you. So, okay, so the endocannabinoid system basic is we've got cannabinoids in our body naturally, and they react to receptors that are in our body. So we bring in these phytocannabinoids like THC and CBD and CBG and all these other ones, and they react with the receptors. But what does the endocannabinoid system do in my body? I mean, I know what the immune system does. I know what the nervous system does.
Oh, that's a good question. Where is the endocannabinoid system? You can point to the circulatory system, feel the pulse, you'd know exactly where it is. But the endocannabinoid system is, I almost think of it as like a part of the nervous system or adjacent to the nervous system, because the endocannabinoid mechanism and everything that happens that we know of with endocannabinoids happens in the synaptic cleft. Where the synaptic cleft is where two neurons, a neuron is a cell that sends nervous impulses. I think people have a general sense of what the nervous system is. But the endocannabinoid system is just next to or right between, at every juncture between every neural connection.
Wow.
So there's a lot in the brain because the brain has a lot of neurons that have a lot of different connections, and the neurotransmitters is how these nerves talk to each other. And augmenting neurotransmitters is a legitimate form of medicine. This is what psychological drugs do. Serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Paxil, I think, was the first one.
Okay.
That is amending the neurotransmitters in your brain. Now, we talk about neural impulses as a good thing. Like, you think that you want to move your toe and your toe moves. Good job. It worked. But not all neural impulses are a good thing. Sometimes it can be over impulse or neurotoxicity. It's actually going like too fast and too hard and it can't be stopped.
Oh.
That's what essentially a seizure is. That's what, and it's a problem. How do you stop the neural impulse? And what the endocannabinoid system does is that it hinders it. Doesn't turn it off completely. It's just that the endocannabinoids in the synaptic cleft, let's say the neurotransmitters are going this way, then the endocannabinoids go this way.
Oh.
And they kind of fill that synaptic cleft with endocannabinoids that make it harder to pass.
Kind of balances it out a little bit.
Balances it out a little bit. If it's going too far in one direction, the endocannabinoids will kind of keep it hold back.
Got it. Oh my God! You know what's so funny is
What?
that the way you explain it makes me think, and it's kind of ironic that the endocannabinoids are actually kind of like little police traffic officers.
Kind of.
But it's the police that are trying to keep us away from these.
Yeah, they're almost more like the crowd at the Broncos game that's keeping you from John Elway or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have many Bronco fans this year. Woof. Yikes.
I'm always a Broncos fan because I was just born into it.
Yeah.
So I always support.
Even when I lived in Tennessee, I was a Bronco fan.
The Broncos. I don't know who's on the team. I'm just for them on principle.
Home team, yeah. Okay, so but there's receptors in other parts of your body too.
Yeah.
So is that because there's nerves all over your body, and that's why there's okay.
Got it. But there are it's not. That's the other thing about the endocannabinoid system. I'm describing the endocannabinoids in the synaptic cleft because that's what we know.
Yeah.
We know that there are some endocannabinoid receptors involved in the immune system. And the beta T cells, or I'm not an immunologist.
Right.
I'm sorry. So I don't know exactly, and I can't really explain, but it does have something to do with the immune system. It's also critical in fertility.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Like the binding of the egg to the uterine wall needs cannabinoids, endocannabinoids.
Huh. I had not heard that. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's like a fundamental part of your biology. And
I knew about the breast milk thing.
Yes, there are there are endocannabinoids in breast milk. I actually wanted to start a company for political argument.
No, you?
Yeah, right.
So atypical.
The idea was to measure the amount of endocannabinoids in breast milk and supplement my company's product, breast milk, like bottled milk, not actual breast milk, but chemical. And we're adding cannabinoids from CBD and hemp to make it equivalent to what is natural.
Wow, what a brilliant idea.
We need to...
That's fun. That is creative. I gotta say, some of the most creative people are in our industry. I mean, just flat out creativity. And I have to think that cannabis use has something to do with that because, it just kind of...
part of my creative process for only a decade, so I don't...
That's awesome. All right, how about can you think of any other positive things in 2017 cannabis related that came about?
Nevada.
Yay!
Nevada came online. I think in June or July.
Yeah. It was sometime over the summer. Yeah.
Halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the government works. It's January 1st, or it's halfway through in May, June.
End of June.
Yeah, so July 1st.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They came on and they've gotten quite a bit of money on that for their tax part as well.
Yeah, and I think it's right on brand for them.
Yeah.
And we're talking about you're talking about the positive aspects when some people see negative aspects. With California and the size of the market, you got all the positive.
Yeah.
All of the positive and the health nuts that they have out there, the Whole Foods and whatnot.
Yeah.
Got all of that supplement. If it's negative, if it's seen as a terrible thing to do, perfect for Vegas.
Debauchery, gambling.
Right. I'm here to make mistakes.
Sin City.
I think it might actually hurt gambling.
Yeah, it might.
If I'm like super medicated, and I see all these flashing lights of the slot machines or whatever's flashing at you in Vegas, I'd just be caught by the lights. I wouldn't think to interact with them, and I mean that's a risk. Why would I risk giving my money to these flashing things that are already entertaining me?
Okay. Here's another one. What are some good things that were done with the tax money off of cannabis this year, off of marijuana this year?
Well, this is, I guess I have a bit of the inside scoop of what was happening here in Colorado, and we're dealing with the point of arguing over these taxes.
Arguing over the amount of because we have so much money.
Well, and different groups think that they want to do different things.
Well, how about Aurora? I mean, I know Aurora was using it for homeless people, right?
Aurora designated some of its local adult use marijuana tax for the homeless. Yeah. That's a great positive thing. Yeah. But, well, really what I saw this year is other states are starting to get to the point that of stuff that we've already dealt with here in Colorado, and they're like, wait a minute, how should we spend this money? Should we just build new schools, or should we get more teachers? Like, these are difficult policy questions that have to be conferred by committee. And
while they didn't have those difficult policy questions before, it's actually a great problem to have. Yes. In a sense, like, oh, we have this money. How can we spend it best? Well, don't sit on your butts for too long figuring that out. Just go ahead and get some, start spending it, because guess what? More is coming. It's not going away.
And I think we've dealt with negativity. Also, people are like, well, it's not being spent in the right way for schools. Children are not getting the benefit that they should from this money, and something I like about Colorado is I think the government actually works. Yeah. At the state level. It does. I'm super impressed by
we are just
balanced budget.
We're really fortunate. We do have a good state government, and our state is thriving.
And we still got problems like everyone, but we have the resources to tackle it.
Yeah.
And just my senator today, my state senator, Sherry Jan, just announced that she's going to finish off her term independent.
Good girl.
She's leaving the Democrats and being an independent.
Amen. I'm good for independent.
I'm all for independence. I myself am independent. I'm not a Republican, certainly, because I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a Democrat either on purpose because they drive me nuts. So I love independence.
Yeah, we just have to find a way for independence to be funded well
Right?
for major
Right?
campaigns. So for sure. Okay, so let's take a look at 2018. We already mentioned California coming on board and what an amazing thing that's going to be for the industry.
Economically.
Yeah, and also I think socially, I think, like
Oh,
you had
God.
said before, trends and things start in California. Once they're accepted in California, it just kind of tends to cross the border and flow into other areas.
And it's exported out to the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about have you seen any good shows that don't treat cannabis like like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Oh, Weed Kid, for sure.
Weed Kid. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Weed Kid. I forget his name. I follow him on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I need to watch more Weed Kid, and I haven't
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have Showtime.
I don't know. I'm a cable cutter, so
I am too. But I watch HBO through Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. Amazon does have Showtime, so maybe that's.
Yeah, I could, but I'm already paying for HBO, and I don't want to.
I hear you. But Weed Kid, okay, that's a good one to know. That's a good one to know.
That's the only one I can think of.
Off the top of your head, yeah. Okay, what about
But
what are some other states coming on board in 2018, you think?
Canada.
Well, Canada's not a state, but yeah.
No, but that highlights really what I want to say about Canada, because that's a huge deal.
It's a freaking massive deal.
That Canada is like a country, man. It's not. It doesn't just have the economy of a country like California, but it actually is a country. Because when the U.S. had its big war on drugs with Nixon and Reagan, we exported that.
Yeah.
We were telling other countries they can't have any drugs either.
Yeah, that was pretty rude of us.
It's how we run the Security Council.
Yeah.
At the UN. Now, China and Russia really took to it. They
like to control.
They love the drug war.
Yeah.
Today, I wouldn't bring a kilo of cannabis to Russia or China for any reason.
I wouldn't bring an ounce.
Right. I wouldn't bring any.
Yeah.
If I were going to China or Russia.
Or Saudi Arabia, for that matter.
They love the drug war.
Yeah.
But we also got all of the other countries to sign these agreements that marijuana is bad, okay? And Canada signed that.
And so now Canada's saying, no.
Not cannabis.
Yes.
We'll keep a hard line on the other drugs. Fentanyl, which is a huge problem. But not the plant, not the cannabis plant.
Yeah. And
what you call marijuana.
And there's also, is it Ecuador or?
Oh, Uruguay.
Oh, Uruguay. Thank you.
Uruguay is now. I've read that they're now selling cannabis marijuana at drugstores in Uruguay, and it's working.
Yeah, it's I do have to say it's better on your body than an aspirin. So
yeah, the number of children that die from Tylenol every year is not zero.
Yeah,
it's it's not a huge number, but it's not zero.
Right, it's not. When you compare this, the the hypocrisy is so obvious when you start comparing numbers, and
Yeah.
it's beyond frustrating.
Well, and that's assuming that it's the government's job to keep us safe at all. Like like the basic argument there is that, well, it's dangerous for people, so the government should make it illegal.
Well, then we wouldn't have firearms because firearms are
Or
dangerous for people.
alcohol.
Or alcohol, yeah.
Prohibitionists had a good freaking point that alcohol is bad. It is so bad. It's involved in so much domestic abuse.
Well, and I do have to clarify this because I do come down on alcohol a lot. And when used in moderation, everything is everything is everything. So I'm not saying that there is no place for alcohol. But I have been exposed to a lot of misuse of alcohol. So I think that's why it's a hot button for me, and that's not fair for people. I shouldn't just demonize alcohol. You know, uh,
Oh yeah,
responsible use is awesome, but like you're saying, when you have people who are misusing it, it is rampant when it comes to domestic abuse. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and violence kind of in general. And what we learned, or what I thought we learned, with the 21st Amendment, my favorite amendment, because it repealed prohibition. It's the only repeal of an amendment.
Oh, nice.
The only one.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
And that was 1933.
I think we need another one.
And the law that makes marijuana illegal is not in the Constitution.
Yeah, well, that's good.
The controlled substances.
I'm just saying there's that, when you have a piece of paper that's
we can undo that with an act of Congress.
Ooh,
Speaking of Congress,
yes.
2018, new Congress.
Yay!
We get a new Congress. So that's good. It almost cannot. I hate to say that, actually. I'm jinxing it.
Find some wood to knock on quickly. Knock on some wood somewhere.
But it can't be worse. It can't be worse than this Congress. I'm saying it now.
I'm knocking wood for you right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what about Vermont?
Vermont. Yeah, Vermont. Well, I hear. Well, no, back to Canada. Please.
Okay, Canada. Yes.
Because Canada has also been working on their rules for their adult use market. Like what I was talking about California, how the state legislature, the House and the Senate, did their legislative process and actually came up with some rules governing adult use marijuana. They just recently, by the way, came up with rules for medical, like 20 years late. But they did it. I think it was like a dry run for adult use. Anyway, so in Canada, their house has passed their rules, and now it's going to their Senate, and they're deliberating the merits or costs of legislation like senators. I don't get it. Like that's not what senators do.
And does theirs kick in the summer as well?
They just dig in their heels and scream.
But does their law start in January or July of 2018?
July is what they're aiming for.
Okay.
Now Justin Trudeau said en français. Parle français. I think his father was from Quebec. I think he may be from Quebec. He's fluent in French. He said that July 1st may not happen.
Okay.
Because the law's being held up right now in the conservative Senate. Justin Trudeau's a Canadian liberal. But the Senate is full of Canadian conservatives.
So it's a
so it may, but
playing.
I think many senators have said that this is far too ambitious. It'll never be done. I like this kind of political maneuvering to set a date and be like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're doing it. We may not have wheels on this train, but
Uh-huh.
we're sending it down the track. We'll put the wheels on once it's going.
That's good. How many wheels do you seriously need anyway?
Yeah,
I mean,
we got 2, one for each side.
Yeah.
Good
it's
enough.
a start. We'll just hold it up in the back and push it. It's okay.
I need you to hold it up. Actually, just could you?
Yeah, I got it.
So yeah, it's probably going to happen July 1st in Canada.
That's great.
And there's disagreement as to how much Ottawa, Washington, should be in control of the whole country versus each province. You know, the Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, and then there's the French-speaking Quebec area.
So again, you're going to have some areas that are more conservative than others. And
some that are more business friendly than others, and some that more want to control it
yeah.
than others. So that but it's happening.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
if they allow the different regions or provinces to have some say over what happens in their area, then that's it's just like our states here. So
they were just having an argument of what the maximum punishment should be for supplying to an underage person.
Oh yeah, that they got to do that.
Right, but there was an argument as to whether the province should set that maximum or if it should be.
Okay, so that's good. I mean, I can see how that could, that power struggle there with respect to that could come in.
But the big picture is that it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It's happening for real.
It's not an if, it's a when. And
right.
That's good. All right, now back to the good old US of A. Vermont.
They've been trying for many times.
This is Bernie land.
To legalize through their House and Senate regular legislative process. And they got, I think last year got so close. It was almost there, but it didn't quite make it. But I hear rumors, I guess, of Vermont legalizing through the legislature, which would be awesome. Like that would be
because it's not even up to a vote for the people. Yeah. It's just
a vote of the people is one way to govern. But it's inefficient for every decision. You can't take a vote of everyone for proposals.
Yeah.
But the legislate it really just shows that marijuana in general is kind of acceptable. That we can even be talking about this.
Yeah.
It really may be the tipping point for Washington D.C. I think things are really going to change with this new Congress.
Yeah.
And
we got some work to do. November's not that far away.
I was hearing talk of like who might run in 2020, and someone was like, "Do you want that job?"
Yeah, I had already decided
clean up on Aisle USA.
Yeah, that's
you want to clean that up? Oh,
that's a tough one.
That's a bad job.
Yeah,
I would not want it. If it was given to me, I'd be like, no.
I'll pass.
But yeah, with this new Congress, there may be things going on with the president.
And I also know that we do have some good support, albeit the numbers are low, but we've got some good support in Congress when it comes to legalizing. Yes.
Republicans and Democrats.
Exactly. And that's huge. I mean, to make it a non-party issue is what will help it to go all the way.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that is pretty truly bipartisan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank goodness. So, okay. Anything else? Any other? Oh, hey, how about? And I know that we've kind of hit a roadblock on this, or not a roadblock, but maybe a bump. But I know that Colorado had voted in the use of cannabis in clubs. But how is that going?
That's not Colorado.
That's not Colorado. I thought Denver. Oh, it's just the city. See, I just figure it's the whole thing.
Denver, no, yeah, that was only.
Okay, so tell me how that's going.
There were discussions amongst legislators.
Oh, okay.
Should it be kind of like a winery where you can go to the winery and try the wine?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Should you be able to go to a grow and try the wares?
So I know that some people, or at least one company, has put in their application.
Yes, one company in the municipality of Denver. I know because I actually worked on this campaign.
Nice. Tell me. So
I collected signatures actually for the opposing campaign. There were two campaigns to vote for smoking lounges in Denver, and the one that I collected signatures for did not get enough, so we didn't make it on the ballot.
Okay.
Yes on 300 did make it on the ballot. So I campaigned for them, even though I didn't quite agree with their wording.
It was more like a better than nothing at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought, politically gave too much deference to the Denver's licensing person. Whoever gives the licenses, it practically fell over itself to appease the
So it's been
person.
over a year
Yep.
since that passed, and is there an approved place yet?
No.
There you go.
And this is really why I didn't collect signatures for them. It's only a 2-year pilot program.
So a year is already up of the 2-year pilot program.
And they have one applicant.
All right, Colorado. All right, Denver.
So I hope for a state legislature.
Yeah, I think the state needs to pick that one up.
Issue some kind of license for, and some in the industry think it should only be licensed marijuana dispensaries, and others who think it should be a different license. And I see the merits both. Either. I'm not really involved in those discussions.
But there has to be.
There ought to be a place.
Yeah, there's got to be.
And that's what I campaigned on when I collected signatures. Like, it's legal to buy it, it's legal to sell it, it's legal to possess it. But if you're a renter, or if you're on government subsidized housing, say you're an elderly person on subsidized housing, zero tolerance policy.
Yeah. And, heaven forbid that elderly person on subsidized housing would prefer to use cannabis than fentanyl.
Oh, yeah. Then they could lose their housing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If they find a fentanyl bottle or some fentanyl
patch.
Or a patch, like a legal
a prescription.
Prescription, they won't take away your housing. They won't take away the custody of your children.
Yeah.
Even with handles of vodka open in the house, they usually won't take away your children.
Yeah.
There's canophobia still.
Yeah, and that's what we need to
We
work
got to
on.
work against that.
Yeah.
Do whatever we can. Keep broadcasting. Keep
Educating.
podcasting like you do.
Wow.
How often do you upload?
I was doing it weekly, but
Okay.
I just can't keep up with that right now.
Hmm.
So I'm doing at least one a month. Um, trying to hit twice a month. We've got some great ones coming up.
Fortnightly?
Hmm?
Fortnightly?
Fortnightly. Oh yeah. We have Dr. Uma coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got a gentleman from Israel.
Did you hear Shauna Banda is coming to Colorado?
Ooh.
Shauna Banda. Have you heard of her story?
But I might have to look her up and see if we can get her.
She's in Kansas
Mm-hmm.
and had she actually went live, I think, with the she makes her own medicine
Mm-hmm.
and she filmed the cops.
I was gonna say, wait, she makes her own medicine in Kansas. That does not sound like it has a good ending.
She lost custody of her children.
Oh man.
She has quite the story to tell. And
Speaking, you know what? Speaking of stories to tell, you have a book coming out.
That is true. That is true. That's one thing I did this year. Another good news, 2017.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did NaNoWriMo.
That's right. So NaNoWriMo.
National Novel Writing Month.
Oh.
NaNoWriMo.
Oh, okay. You know, you say nano, and of course, the first thing I think is nanoparticles of CBD. So nano little. Yeah. Tell us about the book.
Yes. NaNoWriMo is the National Novel Writing Month where you try to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And it tracks your progress through the month. And I did it.
That's awesome. What month is that?
November.
November.
I
Okay.
do it every year, and it's a whole online community of different regions. There's a whole Denver chapter. I didn't go to any of the meetings. Right. I just did it.
Okay, I'm going to assume that this book somehow is cannabis related.
Well, I think like most authors, I'm infusing myself into this book.
You write what you know.
I write what I know. So a lot of the things in this book is stuff that I saw personally. Uh-huh. Like is this
fiction or is it factual?
Yes, fiction, historical fiction, but the history is very recent.
Mm-hmm.
It's way back in 2014.
Oh wow! God, can I remember that far back? Jeez.
2014, if you'll remember, was the year that January 1st, Colorado had the first legal sale of adult use marijuana to a veteran in Denver.
Oh, wow.
Because we voted for it in 2012.
Oh my gosh.
Obama Romney.
Yeah.
That's what that year was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually keeping a close eye on the Amendment 64. I'd be like, I feel like I can say this now, but I couldn't say it then. Uh-huh. I could live with Romney.
Yeah, I could definitely say that now.
But if they legalize marijuana in Colorado, I'll be fine with Romney.
Yeah.
And Obama losing in heartbreak, but at least marijuana is legal.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't really come into effect until January.
Okay.
2018.
So,
and like I was saying with California, you need a local license as well as a state license to do adult use marijuana. And funny thing about Colorado is that we have home rule. Mm-hmm. Home rule is kind of carried over from the Old West, where the sheriff of this here town disagrees with the marshal of that county that he's in, and I enforce the law in my town. If you don't like it, you can get out.
Uh-huh.
If it disagrees with the county law, that is the law in the town.
Uh-huh.
for example, I live very close to Edgewater.
Okay.
Edgewater, Colorado, just over the county line into Jefferson County, right next to Denver. Jefferson County is not really known for its huge support of cannabis. It's actually not very good. But in Edgewater, they can make their own adult use marijuana laws. So something like this sort of happened. Way out east, northeast of Denver, by like 100 miles or nearly 100, is Morgan County. Fort Morgan is the county seat of Morgan County. Morgan County did not legalize adult use marijuana.
Yeah.
I doubt many people even voted for Amendment 64 there. But one little municipal village, Log Lane Village, they issued their own this. I know this because I went out to the street fair that they had for cannabis near the one dispensary in town. And it's a small village. It's like population 700, maybe 800. And so I went to their street fair because I'm in the marijuana industry, and I just saw it.
Yeah.
So the story that I wrote was fiction because it followed the story of the marshal of Log Lane Village. And his struggles. His name is Brody Haverson.
Okay.
His wife, who's a teacher, Rebecca Haverson. And they have a son, Charlie. Charlie Haverson, who has a mysterious and sort of untreatable medical condition. Doctors disagree. Some say that it's somewhere on the autism spectrum. Others claim that it has more to do with the nervous system, and that they haven't been able to find any effective medicine. He's also a veteran. He was a MP, so a shoo-in for law enforcement. And it seemed, and he's against marijuana.
Oh, okay.
He's against marijuana because he's against all drugs because there's a family history. You'll have to read the book about the negative drug effects and alcohol. So he's against marijuana, doesn't want to legalize it, and yet behind his back, his wife is giving his son CBD. Not marijuana.
Right.
It's hemp.
Yeah. But it's from that plant, the devil plant.
He's getting better.
Oh. Nice.
So there's a conflict here.
Yeah.
It is this conflict of legalizing adult use in Log Lane Village, which actually really happened. You can go to Log Lane Village and see this dispensary.
Oh man. Okay. So what?
You won't see Marshall Haverson.
No.
That's a made-up person. So
you blurred reality.
If it's a play, then the set furnishings and that's all real. It's like it was built in a real world, but the actors themselves doing the play, those are fiction.
Yeah. Well, like Sleepless in Seattle. Seattle's real.
Yeah, there's a real place.
Yeah.
In Washington.
Exactly. So, not to push you or anything, but when are you going to have this out, like on Kindle or something, so that people can actually read it? Not that I'm playing Canada here and trying to set a deadline. I mean, I am not Justin Trudeau.
July 1st is actually an intriguing idea. I was going to commit to 2018.
I like July 1st.
Because writing NaNoWriMo is so fast, I was just, it felt like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I was as much in control as the front seat of the roller coaster. I don't know where it's going, but I can see where it's going, and I'm just along for the ride.
Okay, so July 1st it is. Awesome. Committed right here, Carter Baird, July 1st.
No, 2018.
There we go. It's done.
Okay,
July 1st, 2018.
Okay, July 1st. At least the digital copy.
Yes.
Will be available.
We can start with digital.
Logging through editing right now. So, and it feels daunting.
I'm sure, but I look forward to reading it. I'm sure it's going to be
Stay Balanced. By the way, the name of it, Stay Balanced.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. All right, so any parting words for 2017 and any welcoming words for 2018? And you don't have to worry about PG-13. So if you get some, if you want 2017 to kiss your ass, that's fine.
Well, everyone said that about 2016 too.
Exactly, but we did have some good things happen in 2017.
2016 was the election. Remember how traumatizing?
Yeah, that was hard.
So traumatizing. And
so by comparison,
2018 is a new election.
Yes.
So I say to Congress, stop it. Just stop it and actually do something with the new Congress. Maybe some governing. I don't know. Think about it.
Yeah, maybe some just deschedule cannabis completely. That would be.
This would be the year, and especially if things turn on the presidency, that would be the time.
But then we're getting Pence after that, so it's.
At least I can argue with someone who believes in what he says.
That's true. Yeah,
that's true. I can't argue with someone who doesn't even stand by what he says.
Yeah. When he said that was just like, wow.
I don't stand by anything.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Well, okay, fine. What?
I'm so confused. At least he admitted it. So, all right. So
there may be the political willpower to finally legalize.
That's great. And with California on board, that's a huge.
California, Nevada got it at both ends.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
We're going well. Things are going well.
And with Canada.
Yeah. It's funny that they're just not going to be bullied. So we'll see how that goes, and that could be a great way to show the right way to do things. Not that we really take advice from other countries or follow the path of other countries, but it would be a great example to say, look, this is how it's done. It's going well. They've got their political ducks in a row, and it's working for them. So.
And we're still figuring it out here in Colorado. I still feel like Colorado is a legislative leader.
Yeah. And the thing is as long as we all keep our heads straight and realize that we are still figuring things out, as long as it's a fluid process, things are going to change. You can't expect that the law that we set was the final law. It's something. It's a living thing. It can always be improved. Everything can always be improved.
To change, maybe. 2018 to change. No more hope, but we do have change.
We have change. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Carter. We really appreciate it. I am looking forward to July 1st, 2018 to read the book. And we will obviously have to put out a broadcast on that so that we can share it with everyone.
And I do need one person's permission because there's one character who's actually based on a real person.
And you better get on it.
I kind of need to show him the book before anyone else.
Better get on it. So that's a good thing. All right. Well, okay. Here's to 2018. Goodbye, 2017. Thanks again, Carter, our pot scientist. And I'm really happy for all the things that you were able to accomplish in 2017. Things are going in the right direction for you. So
Be a good year, and
Yeah.
stay balanced.
Stay balanced for sure. Okay, everybody, stay happy and stay healthy. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.